When I was doing a year of teaching at Indianola High School, I just wanted to tell you that my name was changed the summer that I married Jonathan, and I used to marry a man named Timothy Van Zanti. Interesting name, isn't it? So I used to be called Mrs. Van Zanti. But then, we married and people still call me Mrs. Van Zanti. And I moved on. I tried to tell them, and now I'm Mrs. Butterfield. Well, I really was very skeptical of reading this book because this is a unit that we do in the class in November, near Thanksgiving time. And that was like reading a book about the Holocaust in Thanksgiving time. And so, of course, I had to ask my friend about it that I work with about it. And he explained to me, and I definitely did, even though we're friends, I did have to force him into it, and I did find a way. And so, he didn't have any other choice but to explain to me. And so, he was explaining to me, and he said, and the real sentence that made it tick is, it makes us aware of what we do have. And so there's the reason. Whenever I'm confused or wanting to be rebellious or something, or skeptical, or just refused about it, or negative about it, he always finds something that can just make me want to do it. Can find that thing that make my brain want to turn on. And that is, in my opinion, what a good person should do. If they can't do that, then why would I be friends with them? And so, that's only one of the reasons that he is so special to me. Well, anyway, I was very skeptical of reading it, and so I did read it, expecting some sort of plot line. Well, surprisingly, and I never had this happen before, the plot wasn't really what made the book good. It was the fact that the book was a true story. And being a true story, even if I read, let's say, Home of the Brave, it really did impact me. This really did impact me. And saying it was a true story, I don't think does anything. It's just something heard by words. It wouldn't matter if it wasn't a true story, it would still impact my life. And so in this case, it was a true story. And so, but the story of it, when I was reading it, I really felt very, very depressed while reading it. I mean, I didn't feel depressed, but I felt moved while reading it. It made me want to cry while reading it. And it just made me really angry. And the thing is, this actually happened with the Holocaust and the Nazis, what they did to the Jews. I feel so sorry about. And was seeing something that actually happened. And I'm reading about what the actual experience was. Not anything written from any other author, just because of the research they did about it, applying to fiction. This actually happened. Someone who actually went through the experience writing about it. And so I just felt really sad and angry at the same time while reading this. And it just made me so surprised because I didn't know what they did to the Jews, and it made me feel really, really bad. But it made me feel even more mad, and it made me feel so sad. And it made me realize what the actual experience was. Worse than I thought of what I knew. And so, knowing that this was actually how it happened, really made me feel guilty for the things that I've done in my life. Because growing up, I did a lot of bad things, a lot of idiotic things growing up, because I did feel in the moment, and I did seize my moment a lot of times, and sometimes I did things that weren't, well, the best things to do, the best roads to go down. And so reading the book is kind of like getting, in a way, a lesson of life. And this book is one of the lessons of life, and a very deep one. Empathy and compassion. Because during my life I have several people who bug me and several people who I bug them, and so I'm not compassionate about the situation. I don't understand. I don't try to help out. And I'm really not really sympathetic and helping and supportive of them. And so reading this book made me realize that if these people are getting treated in such a way, then that just made me realize that just what these people need is a little bit of compassion. And so that helped me to apply people who have issues, and so I try to talk them down and put my hand into it and try to help them out. And so that's what this book made me do. And I think that teaching this book is going to be a revelation for students, especially for students, because kids do things. They do things that are really wrong and disrespectful. They get into fights, and so when they read this, they're going to be like, the light just clicked on in their head that never had before. And they're going to become completely new people. Now, I'm not saying that this book is a complete cure-all, but it does kind of inspire you to think and do different things that are more compassionate. So that's really the legacy of this book. And I really do enjoy teaching it.